Hi, my name's Jordan Rain and I'm an industrial folk musician. And this is the second tutorial on how to use the Digitech Jamman Stereo. And in this tutorial I'll be dealing with how to link and sync two Digitech Jamman units together. For those of you that play with both guitar and vocals going through a Digitech Jamman unit, you might notice when you're playing live that it would be nice to get some separation between those two signals. Probably because your sound guy is tearing their hair out going, I need to get these things apart. So I've had this happen on several occasions, and the way I found to get round it is to divide beats and guitar out into one unit and have your vocals going through the other unit. Now there's no hardware provision for syncing two Digitech units together, but there is quite a simple trick that you can use to make sure they are in sync, and that no matter when you press start or stop on the second unit, it's always going to be in sync. I'll show you how to do it. Right, thanks to the world of fairly badly thought out edits, two Digitech loop machines have miraculously appeared right next to me. Now, the first one, which has got an M written on it, this is for my benefit. The M stands for music. I put my guitars through here, but I also put my beats and my machine noise through here. You may not have any machine noise. Okay, it's not everyone's thing. So if it's just guitars and beats going through that, that's okay. I have a stereo output in the output port here because some of my machine stuff is in stereo. If you're just using simple beats and guitar sounds, you can get away with just using a jack out. These route out to a mixing desk, so it's got its own channel. This input is from my guitar, so when I plug my guitar in, it goes straight into this unit. You'll notice I've got the loop level on 12 o'clock, 0 on the rhythm level. The mic level input is on 0 because I'm not using the mic with this machine, and the line level input is on 12 o'clock. Machine number 2. This one doesn't have an M on it. This is the one I use for vocal loops. Now, you'll see in the back here, the input is a Canon input. That goes to this mic here, not this one. This mic here goes into the loop machine, whereas this one goes straight into the mixing desk. So I've got separate channels for the main vocal, this loop machine, the output's going to its own channel on the mixing desk, and this loop machine, which also has an output going to its own channel on the mixing desk. This is why, if you've seen me live before, I play with two microphones. So on the microphone machine, you'll notice that the loop level is at 12 o'clock, beat level is at 0, the mic input level is at 12 o'clock, and the line input level is on 0. Next for the trick whereby you can sync the two of them together. Our first step is to make our initial loop, keeping in mind that this has to be a loop that we're going to follow and use live. It's going to be the first thing that comes in the song, and we're going to be playing along to it. So it should be very clear and very easy to play along to. For this song, I'm just going to be playing some very simple thuds on my guitar, and once I've got that loop sorted, that's the one I'm going to use as the basis for the song. How I do this is the way I would lay down any loop when I'm starting a song. I just hit record when I'm ready to start thudding the guitar, and hit that button again when I'm ready to stop recording. It'll keep rolling so I can tell if the loop is seamless. Once I'm happy with the loop I've made, and it may take you a couple of tries to get it right, I'll hit save or store. You need to hit the button twice and it will store the loop that you've just made. We're done with step 1 and can move on to step 2. Step 2 is all about software. First of all, we need to go into the Jamman loop that we just recorded, the Jamman unit, that we just recorded into. How we do this is by plugging the unit in via USB to our computer. There's a USB port on the back of the Digitech Jamman unit right here. So I plug one end into that and the other into a USB port on my computer. I now open up the Jam Manager. This is the software that comes with your Jamman. It looks like this. When I open it up, it's going to read the contents of the Jamman unit. This takes a while sometimes, especially if you're using an SD card as well. As you can see, this particular unit, I've got an SD card in it and the internal memory. So there's two things that come up when you click here next to the Jamman. What I want to look at is what's internal, because I recorded my loop into loop 10, or spot 10 in the loop machine. And here it is, it's called loop 10. I click on that, and then I go up here and hit export loop as audio. This is a really handy trick that allows you to export any audio you record on your Jamman unit onto the hard disk of your computer. It's brought up a window and asked me to rename it. So here we go. I'm going to call it The Wall, because that's the name of the song. Then I'm going to go back into the Digitech loop, which is still called loop 10, and give that a name as well, The Wall, obviously. And we're done here, so I can close out. The next part of the software step is altering this particular loop now that we've got it on our computer's hard drive. What we're going to do is open it up in an audio editor. You can use any audio editor you like, but I'm just going to use a Waves one because it's just quite a simple operation. So I open up the file, I find it wherever I put it on my hard drive. Now once it's opened, I'll do Save As. I'm going to call it The Wall Silent, because this file will be exactly the same as the other file, but completely silent. You may think that's not much similarity at all. The big similarity is that they're going to be exactly the same length. Now that's what's going to keep them in sync. So what I do is select all of the audio, then I go up to Effects, I find Normalize, and I normalize everything to 0. That just silences the loop. So I now have a silent loop called The Wall Silent. I'm done here, so I close out. The next part is where we actually put the silent loop onto our second loop machine. In my case, a loop machine without an M on it. Again, we plug in the loop machine via the USB port, so here we are. I'm plugging in the loop machine without the M on it. And then we open up the Jam Manager software. It's going to read the internals of this loop machine now. Now on this loop machine I don't have an SD card, so you can just see internal memory. I click on internal. You'll notice there's a gap where loop 10 is. I've deliberately left this blank. What I'm going to do though is go into the library here and go import audio. What this does is allow me to import audio that's on my computer hard drive. So I click on that, I find The Wall Silent, and I import it into the library for the Digitech Jamman. Once it's in there, I find it, then I copy it, then I go back to the internal memory on the Digitech unit. Where the space is, loop 10, I paste it in there. Now, it just happens to be good practice to keep the loops that we're using, they're pairs, right? So you've always got one with sound and a silent counterpart. Both of them are at place 10 on the respective loop machine units. And now I'm going to show you how it works. Keep in mind that we've got one loop machine, the one with M on it, plugged into its own channel. It's running a stereo output, so it's going into a stereo channel on a mixing desk. The other Digitech unit is running just a mono out, and that's going to a separate channel on the mixing desk. I also have a separate microphone for the main vocal that's running directly into the mixing desk. So you'll see me with two microphones. One's going directly into the mixing desk and the other is going into that second loop machine. What I'm going to do is hit start on the loop machine with the M on it, and that's going to start the thuds running. Now once I've hit start on that loop that's playing the thuds, I could layer down some guitars over the top of it. What I'm actually going to do is record a lot of vocal loops, so I'll be recording over the top of the silent loop. Keep in mind it doesn't matter which loop you record over. You can be recording guitars over your sounds on that machine that's dedicated to guitar, machine and thud sounds, or you can concentrate on the machine that you're putting your vocals into by recording over the top of the silent loop. You can also, of course, alternate between which one you record over the top of. They're always going to be in sync because the loops are exactly the same length. I'm going to turn the reverb on to do this because otherwise it's going to sound dry and nasty. So once I actually start playing the song, you're going to hear my voice with reverb on it. So apologies in advance if that's difficult to understand. Okay, so this is where I actually play a song. What I'm going to do first is press start on the machine that has got the beat in it. So that's the machine with the M on it here. if you can see my foot. Once I hit start, the beat will start to just roll. So you can hear it. Now I can press start at any time on the second loop machine. That's the one that's running the silent loop. So if I hit start now, you can't hear anything. And that's the idea. When I hit that same button again on the second loop machine, the one running the blank loop, it's going to start to overdub. And that's when I can start layering in my vocals. So once I get my key, I'll do that. Hopefully the edits in the song will help you know what I'm doing. There was a way out, there was a way down that would have broken the fall, but it's easy to doubt that anyone else might make some sense of it all. And all the king's horses and all the king's men, and no one can put you together again. Concrete and steel had appealed to history for a view to kill. Man, our eyes without minds will perpetuate fear that don't feel. And all the king's horses sharp swords, pitchforks on the commons ground, and you can silence and spurn. You can pretend that you learn what it is to need on. There was a way out, there was a way down, but some things crack and don't bleed. Oh, the king's horses. Together hope that's been helpful, and I hope that it's provided you with some good separation for use in a live performance context so that your sound tech doesn't kill you. Basically, you can use this trick to sync as many Jamman units together as you can afford. This is just 2, but you can do it with any number of them as long as all the other ones are running silent loops. You've got to make sure that you've always got one machine that is running a beat that you can follow to overdub with, but from there on it doesn't matter when you hit start on any of the other loops because they're all the same length. I hope that's been helpful, and more next time.